It's a Money Monday with the University of Michigan Credit Union. I'm Lucy Ann Lance. This is Ann Arbor's Talk Station, 1290 WLBY. Today we're going to learn about how to plan for and enjoy our retirement. A recent report from Northwestern Mutual found that Americans on average expect to work until age 65. That's up from 62.6 just a few years ago. Many are working much longer than that, even if they can afford to retire. About 650,000 Americans in their 80s were working last year, according to the analysis of census data by the Wall Street Journal. That's up about 18% from a decade ago. Given the increase in longevity, it's not surprising that Americans are working longer, but the motivation to stay on the job isn't necessarily financial. That same report found that nearly 20% of respondents between 65 and 74 with investment assets of between $2 million and $5 million were still working. So what does this tell us? Experts believe that for many people, even though they may be financially well prepared, the emotional aspect is what is most difficult. Well, let's continue our discussion on this and get his thoughts when we're joined by Mark Munzenberger, UMCU Financial Education Manager. This is one of the big questions of life. When should I retire, Mark?
Yeah, this segment, Lucianne, it's a little personal for me, at my stage of my career. And I do kind of think about this a little bit. And I think a little bit about my own personality and how will I transition into a less than an 8 to 5 sort of work week. So it's really been something that has piqued my interest in this study and really dove into it. And I got some really good information to share.
Don't you think that if people may be really set for retirement with what they need, that they may be a little skittish because we've seen the ups and downs of our money just over the last few years alone? We had the pandemic, of course, and then it all depends on the economy. And so there are many factors at play here, and maybe people are just playing it smart right now.
Right. Yeah. Isn't it fascinating when you think about this? For many of us, that security of that regular paycheck, that we've experienced for years and years. And my goodness, we get so used to it. We get so reliant on it. And the thought of pivoting our lives financially to rely on a combination of Social Security and pension and savings and other resources can be a little unnerving. And that really, beyond just the financial aspect, it's that emotional aspect that really plays on us.
It really does.
Yeah, for sure.
So tell us about the 3 stages of retirement, Mark.
Yeah, I really thought this was interesting because as we think about retiring in our 60s, maybe later in 60s, even 70s, a lot of financial experts would tell you that, those first maybe 5 to 7 years are kind of referred to as the go-go stage. We could see some traveling. We could see a little bit more adventurous type of behavior where, of course, there's going to be a price tag involved. But that's the stage of your life where you perhaps have the energy and the health to sort of do things that you haven't done in the past.
All right. So that's go-go. What's the next one?
Well, we're inevitably going to get a little bit older, and that's the times where maybe we're going to slow down a little bit. It's called the slow go years. And we tend to maybe dial back on some of the travel, maybe a little bit more local, still staying active, still trying to enjoy things, but slowing down a little bit, probably a combination of our age and our health. And then finally, Lucianne, we all know inevitably we're going to get to a point where it's probably not going to be feasible. And that's kind of called that no-go age, where we're primarily going to be, in our municipality, still contributing to our communities, but maybe not able to travel as much.
All right. So if you delay retirement, then you might be delaying the better part of retirement, the go-go, right?
Well, right. And that's where we've seen some studies and some of the experts say, really, let's not forego those years when you may stop work, but you still have the energy and really the desire to kind of go out and do some things you haven't done before. Let's not wait so our advanced age may prohibit us from doing those type of things. So they really encourage you, come on, you can do this.
All right. So how do you make the transition from working to retirement? What's your advice?
Yeah. Well, a couple things. Some good news here, Lucianne, with the current job market, certainly skilled workers are in demand. And what we've seen a lot is employers and just the economy in general are more open than ever to bringing on seniors in the workforce. And so what we're really suggesting is perhaps take baby steps rather than go from absolutely on Friday you're working and on Monday you're completely retired. Maybe there's a transition, maybe sort of a phase transition where you go from 40 hours a week, maybe down to 15 or 20. You still feel you're contributing, you're still staying sharp, but you're pulling back a little bit and starting to find that balance. So baby steps is a good suggestion.
All right, let's talk about paycheck. It's really important, right?
Well, for sure. And remember, we talked about that up front. It's that security blanket that we've had for many, many years. And the thought of like, wait a minute, I'm not going to get paid every 2 weeks. How will I possibly survive? So I really suggest that even a couple years before retirement, you really start working with your financial advisor and understand how will you convert your savings, your retirement benefits into a monthly income stream. That could be 401k money. It could be an IRA. Let's understand what we have for Social Security. Some retirees choose to purchase an annuity, which is an insurance product that pays a monthly benefit. So we want to think about this stuff before we retire. So we've got a little bit of peace of mind as we're getting closer to actually kind of, moving over into full-time retirement.
You also recommend keeping your day planner. Why?
Well, I know personally, Lucianne, I'm a very structured person. I can tell you one of the things I do on Monday is I look at my whole week and I sort of kind of map it out a little bit. And they really suggested that as a retiree, don't necessarily lose that ability to plan ahead, but make sure you're filling your calendar. Don't necessarily wake up each day and sort of wonder what you'll do. Keep yourself busy, plan ahead a little bit, space things out. And they really have found that you feel that sense of control is something that a lot of people like me, I will probably work close to 40 years. I need a little bit of that structure in my life to keep myself happy.
Well, and it's also important to have value. And that brings us to your final thought. And that is regarding accomplishments. You still need to have those accomplishments in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. I am somebody, again, at the end of the day, I feel good when I feel like I've accomplished a few tasks or events, that type of thing. And we know it's going to be different. We know it's going to be different in retirement. And so we're encouraging people, just be patient with yourself. But there are things, right, to really keep us active. Stuff like volunteering in the community. Lucianne, maybe even trying new things. Maybe you're going to take up golf at the age of 65. You don't have to be an expert, but maybe you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, do something that matters to you, that gives you pleasure, that keeps you vital and vibrant and contributing to the community. That's all still important as long as you have your health and you feel like you can give of yourself, right?
Right. And you may have not had this opportunity because of time demands, work demands, and those kind of things when you were working. And now all of a sudden you've got a little bit extra time. Maybe you want to, enjoy a new hobby or go out on a limb a little bit. I'll tell you, Lucianne, I have a really good relationship with an organization here in Washtenaw County. It's called Elder Care, and they do continuous learning. All programs online and in person here for seniors on all sorts of topics. Being a continual learner, I think, is fascinating, and take advantage of community college and those kind of programs. I know I'm going to continue to coach sports. That's one of my favorite things.
Yes.
And I love being out on the basketball court with kids. So I think it's important to stay social, stay active, and contribute. And I think you'll really enjoy those retirement years.
Yeah, great advice from Mark Munzenberger, UMCU Financial Education Manager. He gives financial education seminars each month at UMCU. For more information, you can go online to umcu.org and sign up today. You do not have to be a member of UMCU. They would love you to be, but you do not, and it is free as well. umcu.org. Thanks so much, Mark. Thanks for reminding us that we can be vital and exciting and vibrant and contribute in our later years. You just have to plan out your life and be able to get there, right?
You will get there. I promise.
You will get there.
It's, absolutely. Yep.
Thanks, Mark. You're listening to Ann Arbor's Talk Station, 1290 WLBY.